Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.
Everybody, and welcome to Geekenders. It is March the 13th, and we have an amazing guest. We tried to have you once before. Things didn't work out, and I'm so excited you're actually here. It's the lovely CohhCarnage.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm pleased to be here. Thank you very much.
Brother, we've been looking at each other on camera for at least like 15 minutes now, and I did not realize there were a bunch of cats behind you.
Oh, yes. I have 3 cats right now. Siri, Dandy, and Zoltan. Yeah. On their this is where they usually are during the day. Yeah.
Zoltan cool?
Yeah, Zoltan's cool. He's my little bobcat. He's a great guy.
Zoltan cool though.
Dandelion. He's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Babies. My cats would never. They don't ever want to sleep on a cat tree. They did when they were younger, but not anymore.
It took them a while to warm up to it. There's all sorts of little tricks that you gotta sometimes get them over, but yeah. Oh, Co is very quiet. Oh, am I?
Okay, I could turn you up.
Oh,
I'll turn you
that'd
up.
be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course.
Turn it up. That's right. Awesome.
Yeah.
To turn it up.
Turn it up.
I'm just excited Co's here because usually I go on drop frames when Co's not around, and it feels like they're trying to keep us separated, and I don't like it.
It's like that movie with the neutron thing. You can't have the sides touch, or the whole thing, like the energy's too much, I think. Yeah, it's probably
we're playing with fire today.
Yeah,
this could be universe ending.
Probably.
But here we are.
Why would they want to keep you apart?
That's what I've been asking. That's JP.
I'm just curious if you have any theories.
That's some JP nonsense.
It's big. It's
jealousy, probably.
It's big. It's big JP. That's right, big JP.
Probably jealousy. Yeah.
What a delight. Here we are. The three of
Why
us.
did I think Co was going to be a woman? Oh, don't see that too often in chat. Okay, great.
You know what?
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was wondering myself today.
It's the beard.
I was thinking like maybe you'd show up and I'd be like, "Oh hey, what's up, girl?
Hey.
How you doing?" See,
why they
keep us apart.
How you doing, Jesse? Good to see you today.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, very good to see you.
Oh hey there, Co.
I was trying to.
That's the voice I expect.
There it is.
What are you doing? Oh my. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out. Last time that I saw you, Co, I believe you had a mohawk. Do you still have a mohawk?
I don't. I just have normal old man hair. Although it looks a little mohawky right now. But no, that was the
choice,
charity.
Or was that like
it
part
was
of
the
a thing?
charity? It was a charity. The blonde mohawk. I don't know if it was blonde at that point.
You.
Yeah, I had to do
it was fun.
blonde mohawk and a blonde horseshoe, and did that for a little while. But then my wife got very tired of it and was like, "So when's this? When's this coming to it? When's this Hulk Hogan thing coming to an end?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
I was about to say, that's because
so that was
every time you entered a room, you were like, "Okay, brother." She's like, "Please."
I don't think that helped. Yeah, I don't think that helped. Probably should have rethought that a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe we didn't see you. I know we saw your game at Convergence, but I don't think we saw you.
Yeah, that was one of our big trailers that we released on Convergence, and you guys said some very nice words. I really appreciate it. It was kind of fun because there was like I was watching you. Thank you. It's really coming along. Yeah. It started as this fun kind of like little collection of ideas in a demo, and the last 3 years have been hard and fast, and now we actually have this like vision coming together, and it's all kind of working, which is awesome and wild, and we cannot wait to get it out. So still shooting for summer of this year for the EA, and we're excited. I got my nice sweatshirt on today.
Yay!
I saw you posted it on the internet, the close up of
the stitching.
The stitching. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you wanna take a second and pitch it to anybody who might not have heard about it before?
Sure, absolutely. Wow, I don't do this often, so I didn't normally test. Yeah, no, it's great. So Emberville is basically a take on kind of a more cozy game, but we wanted to really bring in a lot of those more deep mechanics that keep people playing for a long time. So Emberville at heart is a kind of a cozy city rebuilder, but it's set in a darker world. There's a giant procedural world to explore, a custom building estate where that you can kind of make yours, kind of like a Stardew Valley farm, but much more of kind of like a grounds. You can do all sorts of things on it. There's this big evolving dungeon called the Vitrometus, which is actually seed-based, kind of like a Terraria world. So everyone's world is a little bit different. And it's a game where you're not only rebuilding the town, but you're meeting all these very cool villagers. You're learning their stories. Almost all the villagers come with like different mechanics that kind of help you along your journey. And it's a game that we really want people to feel that they can kind of live in. The big goal with this game is immersion. We want people to be able to play this game and really be in Emberville, be in the Vitrometus, and most importantly, have a whole lot of fun things to do while they're in it. So it's one that's been a little trouble keeping it in scope with all the fun ideas we have on the team. But like I said, it's finally getting to a point where it's kind of coming together in this very cool vision. And then we're doing an EA release, and we have a big plan for early access, probably about a 2-year development cycle. Point X updates, adding major features, new biomes, new townspeople, new classes, new weapon types, all of that kind of stuff. And we're very excited to get started. So it's been a fun journey.
Can I farm?
Yes. You can not.
Hold on. Can I love?
You can, there's not romance in the traditional sense, but there is.
Oh, that's not what I asked. Okay, I wasn't asking for romance.
There is a relationship system with all the villagers in the town.
You know what I'm asking. You know what I'm asking.
We are not yet divulging the full effects of the intimacy levels in the game, but there's not like we are being clear though. There's not like a traditional romance system in the game.
It's not a dating sim.
Exactly. It's not a dating sim. That's right. It's not like you're just going around getting everyone full of hearts to eventually bang them. It is very much you're learning who these people are, and you know all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one of the reasons for it that you'll see in the game. Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you guys have had to rein yourselves in a bit, because when I was watching the trailer, I was like, this looks like it has so many elements of games that I love. Like, can it do all of them well? And it looks like it does them well, and it looks really fun. So I'm excited to try it out when I'm able to, when I'm allowed.
We really appreciate it. We have builds going out, hopefully relatively in the nearest future, to the kind of closed friends and family to check it out. But that was kind of a big thing with the game, is we wanted to make sure that we had some core pillars that were fundamentally developed to be fun on their own. And then once we had those established, let's fully develop those before we start getting into these kind of ancillary, more sandbox mechanics that we eventually want to have as well, just to encourage, again, the immersion and the ability to just be there, which is a big thing. So yeah, it's been a little, it was more trouble at the beginning of the project, to be honest, but we have some really great members of the team that are incredibly realistic in terms of what we have and what we can do and what we can make. And during the course of development, we have absolutely shed major mechanics. In fact, one of the stories that we have is if you noticed in the very first iterations of Emberville, there was actually this small kind of flame that would follow you around, and that used to be this whole big system. In fact, it was a big part of the game when I joined it, and it got to the point where we were eventually just like, this is very cool, this is awesome, but this is not going to meet scope currently. Like we can't, and that's one of many examples where we were like, we need these core components to be rock solid, awesome, and really be fun before we go anywhere else. So that's been the focus for the last at least year and a half.
I love producer Co. It's so much fun for you to just be like, yeah, no, that wasn't going to cut it. So I was like, no, we have to talk about this system. I love that kind of stuff. Been there. It is so fascinating. I love it.
It's been awesome, man. When I first got brought into the project, you know, of course, I'm as we all have, we get pitched these kinds of collaborations and partnerships all the time. Most of the time, it's more of just a PR thing. Hey, you want to join our company and you know, give us a little feedback on our game, but then play it a whole bunch when it comes out and promote it to your community, blah, blah, blah. And when I first heard of this, of course, I was like, I'll hear it out, but I almost never take those. So I was planning on kind of saying no. But when I found out early that they were like, no, we want to bring you in fundamentally. You're going to co-own the studio. You're going to be like helping design the game. You're going to have as the other co-owner says, he's like, a lot of times he tells me no on things and we kind of go from there. And we go back and forth on everything. But it's gotten to the point now where the whole game has been tailored to kind of, just like you say, like keep this, drop this, keep this, let's grow this out, grow that. And the team has been amazing going back and forth with them on what works, what doesn't. A lot of the stuff I thought would be good in the game at the beginning, we had great discussions about. It turned out not right for this one. And it's like that kind of back and forth is why I really feel that Emberville is going to be something special when it gets here. It's been a very collaborative process for sure.
Have you produced before?
In more limited senses. I had other stints in game dev over the past, but for various reasons they did not make it because it turns out game dev is really hard.
It's very hard.
I don't know if you've ever heard that. It's really tough. I first was kind of, I had this really awesome idea I'd been developing for years, and I basically kind of like collaborated with and licensed it to this guy and his small team to develop it. We had a successful Kickstarter. Things were going great. I was doing the streaming thing. They were doing that. And it just slowly, it was a scope issue and experience issue. And it got to the point where, by the time we were supposed to be hitting milestone 3, we're not really hitting 1. And they're coming back to me for money. It's just like, we can't, like, I'm sorry. Like, game dev sucks.
Dude.
Yeah, that was my first big project.
Yes.
That was brutal. I mean, I was down for months. Just mental health in the dirt. It was terrible. But it was one of those things where it's like, huge amount of lessons learned. Went back in later thinking my second big game dev attempt, I was like, this time I got it. Okay, this guy named John Smedley, big in the industry. He's working with this author named Patrick Rothfuss, who I think is awesome. Einon Zur's on this project. I'm in, let's go. This awesome game called Hero Song, right? It was basically a small community MMO reimagining of Ultima Online with RimWorld mechanics. And this awesome system about like how the servers would evolve, and every so often the servers would die and you'd come back as like your protege with inherited skills. Such a cool, amazing concept. I'm in meetings with Patrick Rothfuss. We're having a great time coming up with all these awesome ideas. Everything's good. Literally, the pre-orders come out. Things are going great. We all come into a meeting and they're just like, well, game didn't sell enough pre-orders. So anyway, thanks for trying. We were just like,
and that was it?
Did it have to sell pre-orders? Like, what do you mean? Were we dependent on pre-orders? It was definitely super unfortunate. So, at first I went like, I'll do it myself route. Didn't work out, lacked the experience. Then the second time it's like, I'm going with people who know exactly what they're doing. That project failed. So needless to say, I took a little break from game dev for a while.
Yeah.
Let that work out a little bit. And sure enough, talking to the current co-owner of Cygnus Cross, one of the reasons that I signed onto this project is I realized like he's a gamer. Like, I'm just going to make a game with a gamer. The demo's fun. It's super unfinished, but it shows me they have the chops to make something cool. And yeah, very glad we ended up taking the risk, but it's been a journey. That's for sure.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome. Jesse also just put out a game.
I'm suffering from like residual karmic damage or something. Like, I don't know, it's like psychic damage from because for every time I have like a monster prom where I'm like, yeah, we did a thing. There are so many games I'm involved with that just do not exist, or when they came out, no one cared about, or like it happens with a frequency that is heart-wrenching. Because you're just like, we put a lot of time in this, so we'd love it if you play it. It's like, nah, bro. And I'm like, well, that's what happens when you invest in passion projects rather than like big money ballers. It happens. It happens.
It's risks, but, man. I mean, it's risks, and
yes.
It's good. It's great that indie devs take risks, but the unfortunate reality is there's a reason they're called risks. Sometimes they're going to be super great to a niche, and that niche is never going to see it, just due to the way the world works, and that's the unfortunate reality we live in. But I was worried about that with Emberville. I mean, we had a big reveal not 2-3 months ago when we had our big IGN trailer. Our big reveal trailer announced Doug Cockle and Alex Jordan as our voice. And before that, it had basically just been me, and growth was good and everything. But it's like, it was nothing like what we experienced. And there was always this part of me that was like, no matter how big I am, man, it's not going to get traction. It's not going to reach the right ears. You know what I mean?
It happens. Yeah.
So it's a thing, man. No matter, it's always going to be a risk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious. So like, when it comes to risk and it comes to kind of like reaching people and what, every time I get involved with the game, I try to think of like, all right, well, who's gonna buy this? What would they, who is this for? And a lot of the times the idea is, well, if it's a niche game, keep costs down. But like you said, every time without fail, it's like, look, all right, so I know we said we'd be done with this thing in 3 months, but we're not. And also we need more money. And I'm like, brother, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It happens so much. And you're like, we were supposed to be a little tiny baby game. And now we're this, but we were supposed to be this, but we got to be like, what are we doing? And it's like that. It happens so much.
It is very unfortunate how often that happens. And it comes back to like, there's so many moving components in game development. It's not just it's almost never just one machine moving forward. It's many different complex machines that can only move forward at the same rates at the same time. And if one thing messes up, the entire machine breaks down. And it's like we just see that over and over and over and over. And it's to the point where like the best game dev organizations, like look at Larian and some of these other companies, all in many ways where they've really fine-tuned that process, really fine-tuned it. Like they have independent interior teams that are all working in tandem and all talking to each other all the time. And it's like, it separates the experience from the inexperienced. I've seen from both sides what it looks like, the relatively same amount of work and style of game across just different teams entirely. And a lot of ways it's art, man. It really is. Like there's no real perfect way to handle this stuff, and every project's different. So having people that are capable of really doing that well, it's a rare resource. That's a very protected resource.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of teams are put together with people that know how to make games, people that love to play games, and maybe along the way, nobody was like super clear on the money side of it, like how much time something was going to take or how much money it was going to cost. And so they say a number that sounds right, and sometimes it's really off,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, that's also that's the job of a producer, is to be the person who's like, all right, let's have a talk.
Yeah.
There's a money problem. We need to have a talk about what can and what can't happen, and things we need to cut and things we need to get rid of. Sorry, gang, it has to be done. And it's always a tough talk. But at this point, it's like old hat for me. I honestly am like, no, I got this. And I'll sit down in a meeting and be like, okay, I'm going to be the depressing one and let you all know that there's no way we can make the game if this is what you're going to do. So we have to cut this, this, and this. It sucks. I hate that for all of us.
Damn.
But we have to like shrink it again. And it's like you just have to get really good at being like, I know the minute we get off this call, people are like, that son of a bitch, we hate that guy. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Just be aware that I can't help it. This is what it is. But like, yeah, I literally have 3 games in the works right now. And it's like, all of them are in that space of like, we are so close. If we could just wrap this up, we could have 3 games release, and that would be awesome. Yeah, we just had a demo for our, hey kids, do you love games like Poppy's Playtime, but you thought this last one wasn't that great? It's cool because we've got a game for you. That's right, myself and several other YouTubers have come together to make a game called Dark Pals, which is a spooky game. It's a horror game that is one of those mascot horrors the kids love, and you'll love it too because it's super fun and super weird. Also, it's got cameos in it. And if you want to see me as a security guard, boy, oh boy, that's me, all right. And that's coming out. Fingers crossed. The demo's out now, but fingers crossed the game will be out by May. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
How's the response been to the demo?
Oh, ridiculous. I feel like it's been really, really good.
Okay.
A lot of people are very excited.
I was waiting for that.
I meant ridiculous in a good way.
Ridiculous.
I meant ridiculous in a good way.
It's been ridiculous. Nobody's seen it. Nobody.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No. This one actually.
This is awesome. Okay, good.
This one I'm excited. So if you're curious why a bunch of YouTubers, because the idea is like, hey, we can actually reach people. The toughest thing in the world for game dev is you release your game on Steam and then it gets lost in the shuffle. And it happens so much to so many dev teams. It's why many devs reach out to YouTubers and streamers and stuff, and they're like, hey, would you help with XYZ? Mostly because getting eyes on a project is so hard. And so that's, that's kind of why we all came in and we're working on this. So yeah.
Also, we're seeing
I'm
PR
excited
companies flourish right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
But more importantly, also coming down the pipeline, an FMV game. And this is one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know that it will sell a lot, but I'm so excited to be working on it.
Project, hell yeah, man. Zeke will play it. You've got one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One
so,
confirmed.
And if you're wondering, like, but Jesse, how? Well, you take the money from the good games, and then you invest in your passion projects, and then you make no money. That's how it works.
It's
that's the industry.
That's the cycle.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. So wait, what's the name of the FMV game?
Right now, it's the Jesse and fun, cool FMV game. We had a title.
I'm gonna put that in Steam. Jesse's, was that cool and fun?
It's not. There's nothing released trailer yet, wise. But if you enjoyed the game Contradiction, we have a lot of that coming back in for this. Rupert Booth, who was Jinx in that game, Detective Jinx, is our lead in this, and he's an absolute sweetheart. And the best way I can describe it is like, do you enjoy British humor and Doctor Who? Because it's 99.9% that.
Wow. I think a lot of people like that. That seems like a very
that
seems like a very good mix.
It's got all the props are like,
I've heard that Doctor Who shows. I got a few watchers. Yeah.
Yeah, super niche. Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's one of those things where FMV games are like not the thing people play all the time. So I don't expect
a little different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry not to cut off your pitching, but have you played?
Oh, please do. It was.
Yeah. Have you played the Chinese FMVs? Have you played any of them? have you played Road to Empress?
No.
Oh my God.
What is this?
Jesse and I have gotten really into these extremely high production value Chinese FMV games.
Oh my God, look at this.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
It looks like a movie.
It's amazing.
These are real people?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They're like all models. It looks like a free-to-play game.
Oh, it's incredible. There are so many of them. Oh
my God.
Road to Empress is incredible, where you play as a consort in training, I suppose, and you have to essentially just survive in the Imperial Court because everybody trying to kill you. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a historical drama based on like an actual Empress who survived long enough to become Empress. And so you're like living out an exaggerated version of her life, basically.
Wow.
It's nuts. It's so bonkers. Jesse and I both played it, and we played so differently.
One of us died a significant amount, and the other became the Chinese sensation known as Brother Beard. Shout out to Billy in the Chinese community. We love you.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways, if I don't know if FMVs are your thing, but if you want to play one where the whole time you're going to be like, who paid for this? Like, why is this so well done?
I was just looking at that. I was just like, who is this developer? This is the only thing they've done. Like, wow.
It's bonkers.
The publisher, only thing they've published. Yep.
And just part 1 is out now, but I think part 2 is coming out soon.
And it was $10?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
it's
the best $10 you'll ever spend. It's crazy. There is I don't think you understand how insane this game is. Sure, it's an FMV game where you make choices and you watch scenes play out, but also there is a mechanic that as you play, it defines your personality, and then you get like a quiz thing at the end, and it tells you what stone you want. It's like you are poison. I'm like, what do you mean? It's crazy, this game.
That's great,
it's got like
man.
a whole life path thing for you. It's like, what did we learn about you from you playing this game? And then they give you like notes.
I got a bad end where I escaped the palace and invented soccer. And I was like, did soccer exist in this time in China?
You invented it. Yes.
You invented
yes.
it. Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing. As one does. That's right. As one does.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a pretty good ending to go and invent a sport that the world.
I was like, she
ends up
escaped.
loving.
She got out.
She got out and invented the next big world sport. Okay.
Love that for her.
I instead played two brothers against themselves and used their love to rise through the ranks.
Ooh.
So, you know, teach their own.
You do you. Absolutely.
It was great. Idiot brothers.
What?
They're like, we both love you. And I was like, I know.
I know. Tux hair. What have you been playing, Co?
Man.
What are you into right now?
I have been all over the map. So I have been currently in a Mewgenics addiction.
Okay.
Yo!
My stupid cat game, as my chat has deemed it, and I call it too. Oh, you playing that stupid cat game again? That's what I get all the time because I'm like literally over 100 hours in. And to their credit,
so you just started.
I basically am a noob. Yes, I just started. But and not only that, but I was basically playing the game inherently incorrectly for like the first 50 hours and had to reinvent the way that I was doing. But it's been a huge amount of fun. And honestly, it's pretty wild because Mewgenics by Edmund McMullen is one of, if not the deepest turn-based roguelite the world has ever seen, just in terms of sheer depth, amount of abilities, amount of items. Like, dude was working on it nonstop for 6+ years. And then 2 weeks later, we get Slay the Spire 2. Yeah. And I never played Slay the Spire 1. It always went under my radar. There was I know. I hear you. I feel the same way. When I heard myself say that, I was like, what? I know.
Sorry.
So it's
incredulous.
Yeah. So I know it doesn't make sense because it was like one of the biggest games at the time. It fits every type of thing. I love turn-based. I'm not big into card battlers, but I do love a good card game. You know, so it doesn't make sense. I never played it, but I never did. But I was like, I'll just try Slay the Spire 2, and I'm addicted.
It's great.
So now I'm playing that too. So
fun.
I'm still playing Mewgenics. I'm like, I think 74% done with Mewgenics. And now I'm in Slay the Spire 2. I've beaten with all the characters except the 5th, who I'm now working on. And then on top of that, kind of unfortunate, I started a game called Greedfall 2, which I had been looking forward to for a long time. When Greedfall 2 came out, the devs actually specifically said, please don't play EA. And I was like, what? And they were like, we all watched you play Greedfall 1. We want you to like experience it for the first time when we're done, like when the vision's done. And I was like, okay. I don't get asked this often. I respect it. Okay. So imagine my surprise when it rolled around on the 11th of this month and people in my chat are like, is Co going to play Greedfall? It came out yesterday. And I was like, what? And I go back and Google it. And like, I hadn't heard anything from any PR company about this at all. Nakan, their publisher, went insolvent a couple weeks ago. Nakan, the big company, went insolvent, and the company for Greedfall is a Nakan-owned studio. Oh, so the whole machine fell apart right before this game came out, and it's one of those terrible situations because the game's actually pretty good. In fact, they invented an entire language for this game, and they fully voice act the entire first part of it in the language that they made up for the game.
Whoa,
like they're doing some crazy cool stuff. The game combat system, the closest game to it that I would say is Dragon Age Origins. It is literally a top-down, real-time with pause, tactical combat game. It's a cool game. It just got 0 promotion. Apparently got some bugs. I played it for a little bit. It's definitely really cool, but like kind of bounced off it, unfortunately. It looks like it may have had trouble development. I'm sure if you're a company announcing they're gone insolvent, you know stuff was going on for months before that happened. So very, very well could have been swept into it. And then on top of that, I just started playing Solasta 2, which is just the D&D experience. It's the indie Baldur's Gate 3. Now they have Ben Starr and Devona. They have all these great big voice actors. I even think Amelia's in it. And it is for an EA, it is looking good. CRPG fans should pay attention. Yeah, it's looking really good.
Nice.
That's kind of what I've been up to. Yeah, and then Crimson Desert coming up, and I really want to play Esoteric. What is it called? Esoteric Ebb?
Esoteric Ebb.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work. Yeah, I keep hearing good things about it. But
did you play the demo?
No, I haven't yet. I've been told it's D and Disco Elysium.
Yes.
It's basically what I've been told.
It's literally
I like that
character, a lot. And the Disco Elysium voices are like Con, Wisdom, and all of these things. It's very fun. It's super goofy, but I also have not sat down and just like played the game since it came out. Apparently it can be anywhere from like 12 to 15 hours to do a playthrough, which I feel like is small fries for you.
It is. The problem with me is like I generally have trouble if I have to read the whole thing straight. Like I if I do that with CRPGs and stuff, I'll lose my voice for days. Like I'm not
every time
good at that. So I have to take like little breaks. And in games where the only thing you have to do is read, where you have to like when your voice gets to that point where it's worn out, but you have 2 hours left of your stream and you just got to keep talking. So you do.
Yes.
And we do as streamers, we do that. And then that's, my voice can't do that anymore.
Yeah. So, I'm still very, very into Pathologic 3. I'm still playing that. And it is a lot of reading. It is.
Man, I tried to play 2.
Reading.
I'm impressed. That game is
They're
weird.
very different. They're very different. Yeah. They're both survival games, but I think 2 is like, do you want to have a terrible time starving? And 3 is, do you want to have a terrible time fighting the inner demons?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds a little better.
The survival elements in 3 are more mental. So you don't have to worry about eating or drinking, but you do have to worry about your mental state. You can use it to your advantage, but it's also like you can be extremely apathetic or you can be extremely manic, and the everything that's going on in the town like exacerbates those two, like those mood swings that the character goes through. It's very much a detective game. It's like a big cool puzzle game, really.
Really?
So I'm loving it. It keeps trying to convince me that I should play Pathologic 2, but I know I would hate it.
I was going to ask if I bounced off 2, should I try 3? But it sounds like you didn't.
I think so.
Okay. Maybe I will then.
I think you should, because the playthrough in 3 is what's considered like the canonical first playthrough in 1. Because in 1, there's like the 3 different playthroughs, right? And then 2 is one of those playthroughs. 3 is one of those playthroughs. I think 3 is easier in universe because you are a character from out of the town. So even like, everybody's saying all kinds of crazy shit, but your character's like, I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about, right? Like it makes it a lot easier because your mouthpiece in the world is like, what is even going on in this town? So it makes it easier for you as the player to also have no idea what's going on and learn with him, But yeah, also because it's not like I'm on the run and everyone's trying to kill me. And also if only a child would trade me a nut so I don't die, right? Like it's not that.
Yeah. When I played 2, I'm sorry.
No, keep talking.
I was gonna say when I played 2, apparently like it's much more about kind of sussing out different lines, like finding a line and kind of then going down that line. So my 2 experience was I just kept finding the beginning of different lines. So like at no point did I have any idea what was going on. I was just kind of like wandering around, be like, oh, let me talk to you. Tells me about some kind of weird green-eyed demon following him. Oh, that's great. Okay, let me go down here. Let me talk to this guy. What? Oh, your dog ate your wife? Okay, that's cool. Did you want me to do it? Okay, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go talk to this guy. Oh, you have the plague. Oh, fun. That's cool. That was my whole playthrough, just going around and like learning all these terrible things about this world. I definitely felt a little bit lost. It sounds like 3 may be a bit more my speed. So yeah,
3, when I originally was like, Jesse, I really want to play 3. He was like, good luck. have a great time, because he had also tried to play 2 and was like, fuck this, actually. So
it's weird.
Yeah.
I tried to play the first 2 games and was like, it's too much. It's too much.
3 is great. I'm like kind of addicted to it. It has this really cool like mechanic change up that happens a couple of hours into the game that made me go, okay, now we're cooking with gas. You know, I'm really invested in this game now, but I think it's going to take me a million years to finish.
Yeah, it looks like also it's completely very positive. I think you just convinced me to get it, so thank you.
If you,
I've been influenced.
If you wind up hating it, feel free to message me directly and be like, you led me so astray. I can't believe you did this to me.
I can't. I trusted you.
I also played some more Monster Hunter Stories now that came out. Have
you played the first 2?
I have never played a Stories game before, because I'm not normally a big Monster Hunter person. I got really into Monster Hunter Tri. I was obsessed with that game. And then every Monster Hunter after that, I've played a little bit of and been like, okay, it's like Pokemon all over again. I got really into Pokemon, the first Pokemon game I played, and every Pokemon since then, I've had such a hard time getting invested with.
Sure.
Well, what I love about this one is it's Monster Hunter, but it's turn-based combat, and it's shiny egg hunting.
Yup.
It's great.
Yup.
It's so good. It's just run around the world and grab shiny things and then rifle through a nest and see if you get a shiny egg. And I always do. And that feels great. Fun. Yeah.
Nice.
I think the combat is much more accessible. If you feel like the regular Monster Hunter games feel a bit too Dark Soulsy, in terms of like the slow combat and everything, and like trying to figure out what weapon you're good with. And yeah, I think the combat in these games is really fun. I like the rock, paper, scissors sort of mechanic with fighting and all of that. Yeah. It's a good time. I enjoy it.
Yeah. How's the story and characters been for you?
So the story is
anime.
It's very anime.
That's what I was wondering. It looks full on anime. I was wondering if it kind of went that direction.
It is. Yes. It's like, and again, I haven't played the other 2, but this one is like, you are
anime.
You are a princess of a place where everybody has a pet monster, and your monster bestie. And there's a neighboring kingdom that is not doing well. And they've basically said, either you help us do better or we go to war. And the princess from that kingdom comes to stay in your kingdom and wants to learn about monsties. And maybe our relationship with monsties is going to help them with their shit. Who knows? But it's very anime. All of the characters are like, wow, I can't believe that we're out here on this amazing adventure. I'm so excited to be out here with my monstie. You know, it's that.
Oh, so they actually use the term monstie in the game.
Yes. Oh. It's, if I was going to put together...
I was waiting for the turn. I was waiting.
If I was going to put together a list of
critiques, so interested.
It would be that they actually use the term monstie.
You seem so interested, and then you can see the light in your eye die.
This is one of those situations where
connected.
I truly feel like the gameplay would be awesome and that I would love it. But like that is so not my scene, man. That is that type. Like I have respect for that kind of wholesome, super positive content. My kids love that stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
But like 40-year-old dude, not my scene, man. Just not my scene.
Does it help that from the beginning you get to ride a Rathalos?
That is pretty cool.
A Rathalos is your best friend, and you get to ride him from word go. That's nice.
Mechanically, the games are awesome. They play fun. There's cool stuff to do. But Dodger's description of like, come on, gang, we've got to go get our monsties is so like, you're like, All right. Okay.
Yeah. Also, side note, Dodger, you saying that could have been in the game. You should do those voices.
I've been practicing those voices my whole life. When I was younger,
that was right
that's most of the streams.
When I was younger, I used to look up voice acting gigs for anime to see if there was anything that I could audition for. I've been practicing that cadence for a very long time.
Nailed it.
And now I get to use it on stream. It's wonderful.
It all worked out.
Yeah, that's most of your streams. If a voice appears, it's one of them is going to be that voice.
One of them will be that person. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
You don't practice not to use it.
That's what I'm saying.
Good point.
What about you, Jessup? What are you doing? What's your life like?
I've done nothing of value. I got obsessed with the fact that I was really close to having the platinum trophy for Ghost of Yotei.
Right.
And I finally did it. And it was the easiest platinum I've ever done. And I'm so thrilled that I could do it. Because it was literally like, throw a bottle at a man and trigger a wolf attacking him. And I'm like, okay. So I just kept throwing bottles at dudes until it, like that kind of thing. Or it was like, find the secret locations to bow at shrines. And I'm like, I'm just going to Google this shit. So I just boop, 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 boop. And I Googled it and I walked around all of Yotei and bowed to various shrines and got an achievement. I was like, okay, all right, what is the next one? I got to kick a man off a cliff. Okay. So I just went walking around until I found a guard on a cliff looking over and I was like, yeah. And he went, boop. And it was like achievement. And I was like, great. That kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm here for. None of that like early 2000s nonsense. It was like, in online mode, kill 100 guys with a snipe to the butt. And you're like, shut up. Shut up, achievement. What do you mean? This was so much simpler. I was so happy. It was great. So good stuff all around. And then the new Legends stuff dropped this week. So it did say I had 100%. Doesn't anymore.
Oh, I see.
I hit 100%. You beat the game. I was like, yes. And then a new thing popped up and was like, actually, you're 84%. You haven't played the Legends content yet. And I was like, no. So that's fine. But then they made everything good. And I'm going to shamelessly do this. I showed Ko earlier. And I don't care if I shamelessly do this. Then, literally, I come into the office today. Ooh, they sent me that. This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This PlayStation.
So pretty.
You can't see the carvings in it because the camera, but like you can kind of see how it's like there's little glow.
Yeah.
There's carvings in it of different locations. And then they were like, and also have a controller. So I'm like, hell yeah, brother.
Nice kit, dude.
That's so sick.
It's awesome. So yeah. And I loved Yotei, and shout out to Erika Ishii, who is also in Monster Prom. Shameless plug. Yeah, it was. I've been mostly doing that and Resident Evil 9, which we're still making our way through. We just got to what? We're past it, but on the YouTubes for the kids, I think we're at the halfway point in those videos. There's a moment that occurs that I will not spoil. That might be the hypest I've ever been in a game in like 20 years. As a Resident Evil fan, I was like, oh! So that's all I'm going to say. And I love that kind of stuff. I have no idea what the rest of the game's going to be like. It could go dramatically downhill. I have no idea. But when you go full Resident Evil in your Resident Evil game, you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good. Here's what I'll say about this.
Say it. If
you want to see the moment in the newest video on the channel, it's like 24 minutes in. If you want to go give that, I was like, it's nice. It's nice when sometimes something is like, we know what we are and we're going to do what we do. And you, sir, are going to enjoy it. And I'm like, yes, I will enjoy it. So we're back. Resident Evil's back, baby. And I'm so hyped.
There's an incredible clip, a Northern Lion clip, where he's standing in a room in the light and he's like, see, idiots, you just got to stay in the light. Just stay in the light. The thing can't come in the light. this is the meta.
And
this
then
is
it breaks the light.
And then the light broke, and the look on his face, like just terror on his face
Yes.
when the light broke.
That
was
is
incredible.
It's like a very fun moment that I think everyone experiences, where it's like, so for us, it was Davis who was playing it, and he was like cocky as hell when he figured out that if you just get in the light, the monster can't get you. And then it was like, no, bitch, and started breaking the lights. And we were like, I, having played it before, playing this section at like a previous event, knew what was going to happen. So I just sat there like a smug asshole waiting for it to happen while he's over here playing and everyone's like freaking out. And I'm like, yes, stay in the light, you fools. It was great. It paid off in the best way possible. I love that kind of stuff. It is genuinely, at least for the first half of this game, is like the absolute best back and forth between, oh my God, I'm super scared, and now it's time to kill some zombies. That's fantastic. We just hit the second half, and it seems like we're in a completely different game now, which is interesting. And so we'll see how that pays off. But I am extremely into it. I love when Resident Evil... Look, I understand most people don't, but I love when Resident Evil gets goofy. I love when it goes full Resident Evil, when they start dropping weird virus names, when guys show up that you're just like, who the hell is this person? Why are you dressed like that? Does that man have a full snakeskin jacket? Where does one buy such a thing? Like that, like that's what I'm here for. I love when Resident Evil goes crazy. Now, admittedly, there is a too crazy. That's Resident Evil 6. That game sucks, but it's like, keep it crazy, just not, yeah. You know what it is? Give me all of the Saints Row 3s you got, but no Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4, too far. Saints Row 3, perfect. Keep it that's the line for me. It's like, there's, too crazy? No. Just crazy enough. And I love that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I have about a desktop of 8 million games to play, but I said this week, you know what? I'm just going to platinum this game that then well, I still have the platinum trophy, but it was like 100% no. Sorry, fool. So.
Yeah. Drugs?
What am I going to do?
What are you hoping to play?
What am I hoping to play?
You have so many games to play.
Oh, my whole God. All right. Yeah, like no, I got you.
I want to play this as soon as possible.
Yeah. So, boy, oh boy. Not only do I really want to go through and, so I have Ladies Don't Tempt My Immortality, which is an FMV game where you play as a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have, more of Super Fantasy Kingdom, which I absolutely love, the bit that I've played, but I haven't played enough of it, clearly, but I love that game if you're into like roguelike kingdom builder kind of things. I still have Ruffy and the Riverside I want to go through. That game, the demo was incredible. If you like the old school, like, I don't know, like early PlayStation or N64 vibe or GameCube vibe when it comes to games, what a cool game that is, the stuff that I've played. I still would love to go through Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I started it and I haven't had time to like goof around in there, but I love Dragon Quest. I would love to finish Rogue Trader. Still haven't finished Rogue Trader.
Such a good one. Such a good one.
Yeah. I have the Operator I still want to go through. That's the game that you played, Dodger, where I just like haven't had the time to beat that thing.
It's not even that long.
I'm aware. I know.
Just pop some popcorn.
My priorities are a mess. I have the Drifter I want to go through. Unbeatable.
Heard great things about Drifter.
Yeah, Seance of Blake Manor's on my desktop still.
Bro, I still haven't played that either.
Big same.
Yeah. King is Watching I wanted to play. Tempest Rising I started. I haven't finished, but my God, did I have fun playing Tempest Rising. I love a good like old school RTS style Command and Conquer game. Like just cool as hell. Instead, and you're probably wondering, but Jesse, when videos are rendering, certainly you're trying these games out. Nope. When videos render, like always, I go back to Total War Warhammer 3 and I play that nonsense thinking I'll get the achievement that says if you play on legendary difficulty then and you beat the game, and I'm like, well, surely this is the last achievement I need, so I'll do that. I played as Archaon the Everchosen. I was going to burn the world to the ground. I was going to do the single greatest achievement of my life on legendary. Nah. I beat it on legendary and the achievement just didn't pop, and I have no idea what I did wrong. I can't figure out what I did wrong.
No, wait, how long did that take? Because don't those are long.
Longer than I want to admit, like at least a month. Because when you play as Archaon, you can't really hold territory. You have to like give it to your minions, and they have to hold it, and you can only hold like big capitals. And the rest of it is burn the world to the ground. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna go with Chaos. We're doing this. Let's go. I'm so excited. And there comes a point where it's like Dynasty Warriors, where there literally is like, okay, I have the elves on one continent who have dominated that, and the Empire who controls the south. And I control all the north with my marauding hordes. And if I push one direction, because I don't control the defenses for half of my forces, the other one pushes. So now I'm like, all right, everyone back. And then I push them back. And then the other guys come. It's like, I literally had to go into debt creating hundreds of armies of chaos. And I was like, okay, all of you guys attack this way. I'll attack this way. I'm trying to coordinate with the computer. The computer's like, what do you mean? Hit that place? But I'm going to stand here for 5 turns. I'm like, oh my God. So then I'm like, and because when you play as legendary, it turns off all of the toggles or whatever behind the scenes that says, oh, the computer factions need to have the resources in order to make units. For this, they don't. They can just make units willy-nilly. So they're just straight up pumping out armies. And they're all max armies. And I'm like, as Chaos, I can only produce low-ranking guys and then through combat level them up. And then, so it takes time for them to get, going. So they've got 1,000 artillery batteries. And I'm like, I've got 6 marauders in a dream. Like, we can do this, guys. And it sucks ass because if you play on normal or very hard or whatever, the computer still kind of like flubs the numbers and just makes units. Like, how? You have 1 town. How do you have 3 armies? How'd that happen? And this is like, no. That 1 town is producing like 12 armies, dude. Good luck. It's the worst. I sat there just, all I wanted to do, it was a dream to beat this as Archaon. I probably could have chosen someone much easier, but I was like, I gotta do this. This is it. And then it was like campaign victory. Because the whole thing was defeat the Empire. So I finally defeated the Empire. The elves are still living. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna beat the Empire. I beat them. No achievement. Nothing. And I was like, I don't know what I did wrong.
And that. So someone in chat was saying it has to be a long-term victory. Did what you do qualify as that?
I assume there's like a short term, and then there's like your big campaign victory, and then there's like you wiped everyone off the map, and then there's like other victory modes you can unlock as you go through. But yeah, I did it. The big victory for me was kill every member of the Empire.
Yeah,
and I did. I destroyed every Imperial faction.
You got a game over. You won basically, right? You can't do anything.
It literally was like, you did it. Do you want to keep playing? And I was like, why did I not get it?
Wow, weird.
I wonder if because there's the immortal campaign mode and then there's the story mode. And I was like, do I need to do it in story mode? Which I hate the story mode in 3. I hate it so much. The portals that open and demons it just drives me crazy. There's so much micro stuff going on. If I have to play that, I may lose my mind. So I was like, cool, man. And that's why I've devoted a month to, and I like failed, I guess. So
that's unfortunate. But you had fun, right?
Yeah. I always have fun destroying the world of man.
There we go.
That's not an issue for me.
Perfect.
Yeah. Plus, I unlock various random chaos heroes, and this one guy, like something Hammerhand, he goes around and he's like, I'm gonna hammer the world. And I'm like, okay, man, you do your thing, bro. He's like, oh, I'm gonna hammer everywhere. I'm like, he's a one-note guy, but he knows what he likes. He's like, oh, I'm gonna hammer all the people. I'm like, yeah, all right, man.
I love characters
Love
like
you
that.
for that. Yeah.
Somebody clearly drew a guy with a hammer for a hand and was like, what's his personality like? Well, he loves hammers.
He hammers. Yeah. All the voice lines are just so, it's like everyone else has like a for the chaos guy, whatever. And this guy's like, I'm gonna hammer that city. You're like, all right, dude. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Dude knows what he does and he does it well. More power to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I know the answer, but have either of you guys played Pokopia?
No, not yet.
You have?
Can I just say,
Yes.
it is, and I mean this with no disrespect to past Pokemon games, and admittedly, the last time I played and cared
Me too.
was Silver Gold back in the day. So literally 20 years ago. More than that, 26 years. When I come out, like 2001, maybe. This is the best Pokemon game ever made.
Oh, okay.
It's better than any other Pokemon
like
game they've made in the last
made.
20 years. It is incredible. The best way to describe it is the Dragon Quest Builders game. It's got that vibe. Except the idea is you're basically you're like dittoing a world back to life, essentially. Is you're going in and you're trying to like recreate this world. And it is I will admit, I've only played like 3 hours at home. So I'm not deep in this at all. But holy crap. It's incredible.
My kid and I want to play it together so bad. It looks like the perfect game for just like sitting on the couch with my kid.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It makes a lot of sense you feel that way because Chad is pointing out it's actually by the same devs that made that game. So
there you go.
There you go. Dude, I've heard nothing but good things about that game. And funny enough, I thought the direction you were going with it is, as a lot of people point out, is it's like, why are all the best Pokemon games not by the people that make Pokemon?
Oh, well.
It's like, why does this keep happening where it's like other people are doing what they do better? Like, that seems a little weird. It is, but yeah, like
it's not, there's something fun about the fact that it's not necessarily Pokemon. It's just in the world of Pokemon, and you get to see other, like you get to see other aspects of that universe in a way that isn't just running around catching monsters.
It's like the Star Wars conversation.
Yeah,
yes, they don't evolve. So because they want you to as the player to treat like each version of that Pokemon as like separate creatures to have in your world. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you find like the later evolutions instead of evolving one, which I think is cute.
Yes, it is. It's like a simplicity to it. So going back to Dragon Quest Builders, one of the things about that game that I was like, is there was like a lot. Like there was like a lot in that game where it just felt overwhelming from jump. And this is like, no. Let's take your hand. Let's go through this. By the time you're ready to start getting crazy, we will. And I think that's because it's geared towards younger kids. But like by the time we're ready to get like to the Minecraft level of building that we're trying to get you to, you will have all the fundamentals you need. Where in Builders, I feel like it was, you're going to build this stuff and we're going to try and teach you, but really we'll throw you in the deep end. Have fun. You don't need us, really. And this, they're like, trying to baby you in. And I really appreciated that because one of the biggest problems for me is games like that where you have to like build and do things. I'd much rather have a keyboard and mouse. And controller always.
Like if it's complex, do you mean?
Yeah.
Doing those little minute movements of like when you have a grid of squares and you want to put this in that square, like having to, it's one smooth motion with your hand. But for I don't want to speak for you, Jesse, but for us older guys, Like it just gets harder to like, it's like five different motions.
It is hard.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Dragon Quest Builders was so frustrating for me when it came out on console. The PC version's great, but it's like the console, you're just like, I just want to move this one thing and it keeps moving not where I want it to.
Yeah.
And this damn controller, what am I doing wrong? And so they made a lot of changes, and I think it's very clear they went in and were like, we got this, don't stress it. We've taken the time to refine some things and we're doing it. I see in chat, I have not used the mouse mode on Switch.
Interesting.
So I don't know. That's something to test. Oh, this is why people
external mouse, or is it something that's on the Switch?
It's literally part of the system. If you have the $10, I don't know that it's worth it other than like as the gimmick, but there is an incredible like Switch 2 tutorial program you can download for $10, and it will teach you everything about the console in like really fun gamified way, to the point where it'll make your controllers you know how there's the Joy-Con 2 rumble features?
Mm-hmm.
It'll make the controllers rumble to the point where it does like it's incredible. Like it will do stuff and you can go in and you can learn the mouse, and it should have been free. But if you're I'll give it a try, I don't,
because it
should have been free.
It sounds equivalent.
Nintendo charges $10.
Yes. Yeah. It is a $10 thing to pay for a tutorial. Again, it's a great tutorial and it teaches you everything you need to know, but it's still $10. It should have been, it should have come with the console.
DLC to know the cool features of their system.
Yes.
That is so Nintendo, man.
The version of that on Steam Deck was free, I believe. The Valve adjacent game that was like, here's all the cool stuff the Steam Deck can do. That was free.
Mm-hmm.
That the how to use your Switch 2 should definitely be free. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it is, I will say, again, should have been free, but as a piece of software that teaches you stuff, it's incredible. It's like really neat. But it's one of those, like, if you just have $10 sitting around, like, otherwise I would just go watch a video on it somewhere online.
I was going to say, I'm sure there are YouTube videos.
Yes.
I mean, but I love you, Jesse, but part of me is like, please don't buy that for $10. Please don't tell them. Please don't.
Yeah, like the controller, all of it, like the experience of it suddenly turning on and being like, oh, this is the thing. It's kind of like how I felt playing Astrobot, where I was like, oh, this console does things that no one uses it for. That's crazy. And so, yeah. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I haven't. Awesome. Yeah, it's like in the Joy-Con. So the whole system has a bunch of weird ways to use it, but I haven't used that for Pokopia. But yeah, dude, it's actually like a really good game on a way, on like a level that there's polish and it feels like a completely well thought out, well made game. And it kind of ticks all the boxes of, yes, you playing with your kid, you will love it.
Yeah. When we watched the trailer, my kiddo was like, why does the main character look like that? And I had to explain what a ditto is. And then she was like, but why aren't you just playing a person like in Animal Crossing? And I said, I guess we'll have to play the game, won't we? There's probably an in-universe reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I will say one of the cooler things I saw about Pokopia. Am I saying that right?
Pokopia, I think.
Pokopia. I think it was Dan's Gaming who put it up, where it's like, apparently, you can rebuild these towns and rebuild all this stuff. And this is, to be clear, this is a little bit of a spoiler. I'm not going to say, but when you beat the main story, you gain access to a tool that essentially like God modes your building. And that's really, really cool. Like, I think that's such a fun kind of QL progression. So it's like you beat the main story, and then all of that kind of like would have definitely been more arduous stuff is now like easier, intuitive. It's like the controls are better. Like it's great idea there.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It's a good way to keep people playing after they've finished the like story, is to be like, but you enjoy the building, right? So here's an easy way to keep building.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I just realized it's so funny because, like, I want to say, man, Nintendo just keeps nailing it. But then, as my mind, I'm like, yeah, no, just go watch a video on YouTube about that Nintendo product. I'm automatically thinking they probably DMC it. Like, that video doesn't
100%. Yeah. The second
they went in and took that video down.
Loud, I was like, well,
I mean,
maybe they wouldn't even let that exist.
Nintendo is kind of that perfect example of like the sheep, but then when you find out it's just a robot with a sheepskin over it. Like, and you know, that's like Nintendo is, if you look at it objectively, one of the most corpo game devs out there. But because of the type of games they do, everyone kind of gives them a little bit of a pass every so often. I'm not somebody who's hugely into Nintendo games. I don't own a Switch 2. So, like, for me, I'm one of those people that stands on the outside kind of like, man, y'all Nintendo fans are crazy.
It's, yeah.
Like, the games are good. Don't get me wrong. The games are cool. My kids love them, but it's like, some of the stuff that is like, oh my, I got my kid a Switch 2 for his birthday, my eldest. And I went in there walking through the Target, looking at the cost of the games. And that's one of the first times I'd ever looked at the cost of Nintendo games. And I'm just sitting here like, holy, like it really is. It really is. Like they get away with a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And the crazy thing is that when Switch 2 came out, I wasn't gonna buy it because I was like, the only game I want to play on there is the Zelda Dynasty Warriors game. And at the time, because I have friends who exist in crazy reality who just were like, yeah, I got like 4 Switch 2s. Do you want one? And I'm like, what, bro? What do you mean? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no. So I got a Switch 2, and for, I'm gonna say, 6 months, the only game on it was the free Super Nintendo game that has all the Super Nintendo games.
Yep.
I played nothing else. I was like, I'm just gonna go back and play Mario World. And then finally the game for the Zelda Dynasty Warriors game came out, and I was like, yay! And I enjoyed that, but like other than that, I'm not.
I thought you played the Donkey Kong game. Did you not play that?
Nope. I watched people play it, but I did not play. I don't. Literally, I own 1 Switch 2 game now, 2 technically. And it's not that it isn't good. I'm so impressed with the Switch 2. It's a great console, but like, you know, most of the games are not targeted to me for sure.
Right.
That's the boat I'm in. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They can be fun. Absolutely. They're very family friendly. That's the best way I can say. They're super family friendly. And like that's as you get older, like as a parent, I'm super into that vibe with my kids. Love playing Mario Kart, Smash Bros, that kind of thing. But you know, as I've gotten older, my personal stuff has changed. So I'm not just really into it in that kind of degree. Yep.
And the games that are third party, I will have them on PC or on, you know, PlayStation or whatever way before they're released on Switch. And I'm like, I don't need to buy it again, but I'll look at it and I'll be, you know, I think a lot of people have that impression that a Switch 2 is not like as powerful as the other consoles. I'll watch like a game that came out on PC or on PlayStation on Switch 2 and be like, it looks good. I don't know.
They had RE9 running on a Switch 2. It looks great. I saw a screenshot and I was like, no way. And then I saw a video and was like, damn, like that's totally playable. Yeah. It's not only playable, it looks decent. Like that was wild. Yeah.
Especially for anyone who's played Resident Evil 9, the first, like, I don't know, 20 minutes are basically a, I don't want to say walking simulator, but you're walking through a city and it is photorealistic as hell. On every console, it looks great. Like, I don't know what they did with that RE engine, but as you go through Renwood, it looks incredible. Every console looks great.
The RE engine is fantastic.
It's a really cool tech. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very impressed. But yeah, honestly, the whole the Switch 2 thing is like, I get why Switch 2 is very popular right now. Handheld, taking it with you wherever you go. You can play your games. Like, it checks out completely, especially if you have a kid. Like that makes
Yes.
that makes perfect sense. If you were like, okay, I got to buy my kid a console. What am I going to buy him? Probably a Switch 2.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is like they played the absolute hell out of it for like 5 days. Now they're back in Minecraft. Minecraft and Fortnite and all that stuff. I'm like, don't you want to play your Switch too?
Eternal touchstone.
Let me just finish this this building. Let me just finish this round. Yeah, okay. Don't play it if you don't want to. Like, damn. But yeah, I'm sure something will bring it back.
Yeah.
Yep. My kid got really into the Snufkin game. I played the Snufkin game, and then my kid played the Snufkin game, and now they're making. I think the same group is making a game that follows a different Moomin story. So I'm excited to play that with her. They're just cute.
Oh, yeah.
It's just cute, Jesse. It's cute.
Then just the name Snufkin just doesn't sound right to me. It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's
you saying the Snufkin's cute.
It's a little weird.
He is.
Well, yeah.
The whole game is him fighting against people who want to turn the woods into like a crisp cultured like park. He's like,
the Snufkin game is anti-gentrification? Is that what you're telling me?
Hardcore. Yes, it's awesome. The whole game is you come up to these weird little parks and you're like, no, and you just knock everything over. You rip out all of their like rules all over the place. You rip them out of the ground. It's great.
Oh,
they're changing our community. These people are moving in from out of nowhere, setting up their tents, trying to park it up. No, thank you. And just destroy it. Snufkin style.
It's the park rangers.
Maybe after that we can go after the man.
He is.
Yo,
it is the man. It's the man from the get-go.
Who is the man in the Moomin universe?
Who's the man in the Moomin universe? The park rangers, I think, are the closest thing to the man in the Moomin universe.
We should take him down.
Mm-hmm.
The nice park, the guys who are like, I'm the only thing standing between the construction workers in this forest, and I'm just trying to do my job. And they're like, take the man down. But I love nature. I spend 6 months out of the year here.
I'm literally working minimum wage just to protect the woods. Why are you doing this?
They're drunk on power.
That's right. Take your rules down, sir.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me.
No rules in the woods. Nature doesn't follow rules.
The sign says, don't feed the Moomins. Take it down. Yeah. What are Moomins?
They are trolls that used to be house trolls that lived behind wood stoves. But then as people replaced wood stoves with electric stoves, they had nowhere to live. So they moved to the woods.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard.
That's the lore. The first book is literally that Moomin Papa, the dad Moomin, goes off on his own to find a new home for his family, and he never came back. And so you follow the rest of the family as they're trying to follow his trail and figure out where he went.
How does that end?
They find him and they build a house, and then the rest of the Moomin stories happen.
What was he doing?
He hopped on a boat with other little trolls called the Hattie Fatteners, and he got lost.
So when they found him, did he were they like, Dad, is that you? And he turns around with like a carton of milk and cigarettes. And he's like, what? Oh, you found me.
He's got a whole other family.
That is kind of the vibe at certain points in the story. Like, what have you been doing, Moomin Papa? And he's like, sorry, guys. I just found the perfect place for a house. And then I got distracted. And the whole book, Moomin Mama is like, your poor Moomin Papa. I miss him so much. And their kid is like, I really hope that we find Moomin Papa one day. I miss him ever so much. And when they find him, he's like, my bad. My bad, guys. Shoot. That must have been really scary, you guys coming all the way out here. Should we build a house?
I know he's probably, I was totally trying to get back to you too.
I was gonna come back.
I was.
And then they just worked it into his character for the rest of the stories that he has wanderlust. So he likes to just go on crazy adventures, and sometimes it's too
Not
crazy
come
and
back.
he doesn't know how to get back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
It's fun.
Moomin
It's
lore.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is
It's fun.
wild.
Yeah, my lord, man. Gonna have to deep dive this later and figure this out. Whew.
I got really into Moomins, 2 years ago, Jesse? I feel like it was happening while we were doing the show.
Oh, no, it was. And you were telling me about how much you love Moomins. I was like, I don't know what the hell that is.
I had never, because
now I do.
Like, it feels like in Europe, the Moomin books are very common for kids. And I had never heard of the Moomins before in my life. And then I was sent Moomin books to read to Clark when I was pregnant. And I was like, I don't know what these are, these weird little marshmallow people, but this is fun. Sure. And then, just recently started like actually reading the books and played the games. And it's nuts. The lore is bonkers. It's very like, fairy tale whimsical in the way that fairy tales sometimes are a little fucked up,
What?
They really are, actually. They really are. Yeah, the more you look into them.
Muzzy. That's who I thought the Moomins were. Do y'all remember Muzzy?
Muzzy?
Je suis la Jovi.
Je suis. Yes. When you originally sold me on Moomins, I thought they were Muzzy from the 90s.
Muzzy, he was the guy that taught us different languages.
Yeah, he taught us languages.
You could buy his 4-volume for 3 low installation payments of $19.99.
Yes. Every kid from the 90s knows Muzzy.
Oh, yeah.
In America, at least, because he would pop up on TV in the commercials and it'd be like,
I grew up in the 90s.
Love Muzzy.
And I did not know Muzzy.
Like,
Muzzy was the owl, in the Duolingo owl for kids in the 90s. That's what Muzzy was. He basically was the mascot for kids learning languages and selling like language kits.
Je suis.
Oh my God. If you watched Comedy Central, you saw it like 1,000 times. As usually in tandem with So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah. For 3 easy payments of $19.99, you can gift the gift of language to your children this holiday season. And it was always just like this cartoon would show up and be like, I just very much remember, Je suis, like just.
Je suis la
Muzzy.
Jovi.
Why do I not know
I
this?
always remembered that. And now I realize Moomins are not Muzzy, but I still think of Muzzy to this day.
Big same. Yeah.
Yeah.
That conversation did remind me of Asterix and Obelix. I don't know if either of you guys read those.
Asterix and Obelix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had to read that in our French class.
Yeah, French comics.
Yep.
About 2 little goofballs.
The dude with the hat with the wings on it and the hammer.
Yeah.
Hammer time. Yep.
I am obsessed with the fact that, sure, it was a comic and cartoon or whatever, but there are live action movies. And y'all, if you want to go see some weird shit, go find those live action movies. Because, oh my God, they are not
I didn't know that existed.
What you consider mainstream American cinema. They are wild. Find them, take the time to go watch 1 or 2. They're crazy movies. Mission Cleopatra is the best. It is something, all right. Yeah.
Wow.
There's something truly special about live action versions of things that are like deeply uncanny and weird. You're like,
people
maybe
are going through that with the One Piece movie right now.
Oh, like
honestly,
the new One Piece stuff?
Yeah, I don't
watch the new season.
I don't read the manga. No, I'm talking about the live action movie and like all of that. Yeah. Like I've seen so many people with that same dissonance talking about that same dissonance. Like their favorite scenes being recreated and they're just like, what has happened?
I kind of love the live action One Piece. As a person who has no patience or time to watch 1,000 episodes of an anime or read all the manga, getting it delivered in like reasonable chunks to me in a live action thing is very enjoyable. And I've just turned my brain off to the fact that like it is anime. Like they said, we're going to make this live action thing anime as hell. And so it's goofy as all get out. But honestly, kind of enjoying it in a way that I didn't expect to. It's not what I would consider in the same like adaptation level as something like Fallout or Arcane was, but like it's incredibly entertaining. So I'm here. I like it. There's it clearly has love for. I just saw this note in chat. Yeah, it has love for the source material. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely. You feel like, oh yeah, no, this is definitely what it is. They're not trying to do one of those things that they did all the time in the 90s and early 2000s where they took a property and then made a movie out of it and had nothing to do. Mario Brothers movie? Go watch that. Go watch that and you tell me what that has to do with Mario.
I love that movie though. I love it. It's the
wave your hands from side to side.
Oh my god, I love
that's
it.
That's the TV show.
Series. That was the series.
The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And the Super Show rocks. Captain Lou Albano rocks. But the movie is insane.
Yeah.
The Mushroom Kingdom is literally the goop of her dad. That's one plot point. The mushrooms and the Mushroom Kingdom are Princess Peach's. Although I think in the movie it's Daisy, which is a whole other thing. It's Daisy's dad who was de-evolutionized by Dennis Hopper, and his mushrooms grew all over the kingdom, and that's how they save the day in the end, because she realizes it's her dad who is the mushrooms. That movie's crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I do.
The best part is you realize that the two guys who play oh man, Iggy, I'm trying to think of which Koopa kids they're supposed to be, but it's like two of the Koopa kids. They're two like beloved character actors, and watching them on screen be like, oh geez, boss, what are we gonna do? Is great. He makes them into Goombas, but the Goombas are 7 feet tall, Dodger. None of it makes sense.
I know, and there's a whole scene where the way that they distract all of them in an elevator is they put hands on them and make them sway, and they have such a nice time swaying that they don't even notice.
They don't stop. They don't stop swaying. Yeah.
It's cinema.
Yep. To be fair, I've used that tactic as well when leaving meetings.
I was gonna say on your children, just.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's a big one. That works very well in kids too.
When I have meetings with my kids, I like to sway. Yeah. The worst part is they set up a sequel. I just want to point that out. They set up a sequel.
We could have had it all.
Nope. I'm glad we stopped where we did.
Rest in peace. I am excited for the second Mario movie, like the most recent. I liked the most recent Mario movie, so I'm interested to see what the second one's going to be like. Why are you doing that face, man? Jesse does this face sometimes where he's like, I'm really happy for you that you feel that
I am happy for you. I am. Why can't I be happy for you? in your little bubble that you
in
little
Mario
bubble
Land
you've created for yourself.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the person in chat who asked if I have a door yet. I love the possibility of an alternate universe where I have spent months I went through the entire winter without a door. Yes, I do have a door.
I was going to say, we need to make it clear for the class.
But man, how tough would I have been if I was like, I went through all of December and January with no door? Who needs them?
You invite trouble
in. My office did flood twice while I didn't have a door, so I'm really glad that I have one now.
Yeah.
Don't recommend.
Dukes, do you want to talk news? Because there's tons of it this week.
Yeah.
Tons.
Let's do it. Tons.
All right. Before we get to the actual news stories, I figured I'd bring this up just because, like, it's news, but not in any way that I think most gamers would be surprised by.
Okay.
Big yesterday, all over the internet, we got a video interview with Jeff Kaplan, former bigwig of Overwatch, where he basically was like, yeah, hey, so the reason I left was because I got called into a meeting and they told me if we don't hit a bunch of benchmarks, they're going to fire 1,000 people and it's going to be on you. And I was like, damn. But the thing is, part of me was like, all of that makes sense. That doesn't ring as like, that seems like that happens in companies all the time.
Yeah.
That they're like, no, it's you, the face of this thing. You're going to take the blame if anything goes wrong. And, yeah, he was like, all right. And that's why I was like, I'm done with this. And I want to say it's shocking, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like everyone kind of expects that in the very corporate world of AAA games these days. But yeah.
I think a lot of it is, you're exactly right, Jesse. We hear about that all the time, but it's not so common that one of the biggest names in the industry stands up and was like, yeah, that happened to me. And here's exactly how it happened. So I think that was the more alarming part. The more alarming part, but it's like Jeff Kaplan is a super well-known name. This is a guy that joined the industry with a passion. He planned on retiring at Blizzard. Like, this is a guy that wanted to make games as art for his life at a company that he thought could do that. And instead, just like I know me and probably you guys have talked so many times on stream about how, you know, a lot of these big companies live long enough to become their worst enemy. A lot of these companies start full of people who are there to make a passionate project. And slowly over time, as they get success, they get more and more people that join the company that have no real investment in the product, but are there to fulfill their role in the company making money. And as you get more and more of those people, you get less and less of a ratio of the people in the company that really fundamentally care about a good product. And eventually get to the point where you now have a board. And that board, none of them even play games. And they're the ones that are now steering the ship. So that board is the one who stepped into Jeff's office and was like, hey, it's great you like your little games. That's cute. That's adorable. But if you don't make this much money at this time, like that is the definition of that corporate influence, just completely eviscerating the soul of a passionate company. So, I mean, the biggest takeaway go ahead.
No, what's crazy about that is the thing that I think that you definitely, hit the nail on the head with is, personally, as someone who started out doing all of this from Warcraft and that community and those people, I knew a lot of people who their whole life dream was to go work at Blizzard. And out of all of them, and I'm talking like 20, 25 people, only one still works there. Everyone else went there with all the dreams of what it was going to be. And over the course of time, it was no longer the thing they loved, and they all jumped ship. Every single one of them.
And we see this happen
again, except for one.
I was going to say,
it happens.
You always got the diehards. You always got those diehards that want to believe in the dream until the very end. So the exact same thing happened at Twitch, where it's like everyone wanted to work there for the first 5 years. It was the hottest up and coming company. It was amazing. Amazon bought it. And then we've all been here for the last years and seen the changes and how it's become. It's all the exact same process. But yeah, it's super unfortunate. The only thing that like I feel we can take away from these is knowledge is power, right? And it's like, it's one of those things where I hope that other game devs that are in a similar position can look at someone like Jeff and start making whatever plans they need to keep their passion burning and get out of whatever environment they have ended up in. Because a lot of times you join with one reason and you just wake up one day and realize that the people around you don't care about that reason. And that is the definition of just, that's a horrible position to be in when you're the only person that cares about what's going on around you. That's why I left the IT field. I couldn't work. And I think this goes for everyone. I couldn't work with people whose job was to find the easiest way to make money, not do the job the best they can. And when you stop caring about the project, that's what happens. When you stop caring about the product, that's your goal. You don't care about your job. You want to get home to your family, your friends. You can't wait to be off work, right? So it's like, it completely skews and changes the entire impetus of again, the art the company is supposed to be making. So yeah, I feel for people like Jeff, man. I can only imagine the journey of joining with that passion to ending up in that chair, in that boardroom at that moment, and having literally the entire thing you've worked for in your life be thrown in your face with a middle finger. That is, movies are made on those moments.
Yeah, it sucks. It's kind of everywhere at the moment. It's a lot of like executives and like business bro dudes making a lot of calls that are for line go up, not product be good.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It sucks.
Yep.
It sucks that it's like kind of across the board with everything. If anything, the real takeaway for me at least is you are the one spending your money on stuff, and you get to decide what succeeds and fails based on what you spend on. So spend wisely. Right? Don't be like me and buy a $10 Nintendo Switch 2 demo. Be like smart people and don't. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's tough,
all right,
man.
Anyway,
it's tough.
Yeah.
And the worst part is those companies sometimes release a game that's just fun and good. And it's like, and then you don't want to punish the devs who are actually holding on for dear life, trying to make passionate material at these companies still. So you get thrown into this, cacophony of like having to make these decisions. And it sucks. Yeah. Now I'm mad at them for putting us in that position.
It is rough because every once in a while, because I will sit here and be like, Ubisoft, what are you doing? EA, what the hell are you doing? Activision, this is the stupidest choice you've ever made. And then they'll come up with one game where I'm like, God damn it, this game's amazing. Or
you have that one franchise. A lot of people with Ubisoft, they'll swear off every Ubi game. They're like, oh, I don't like this open world. Oh, it's SOP, it's whatever. So anyway, the new Anno came out, and it is the best thing that has ever been made.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's tough because you want to stand on that hill and be like, you suck, your company's trash, and then they'll be like, one of our dev teams made this banger game, and you're like, okay, all right.
I just got the worst image
mentally by playing this.
Of like they're with that, you don't want the drug, you don't like me, but I got this in an Anno right here.
What about this new drug?
You know you want this Anno, don't you? No, don't just take it. You can just give me some money. I won't tell anyone. You can play your Anno.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's how they get me.
Lord.
Every time.
And Anno's a good game. It's a great game. Like it's just a great game. Like it's yeah. It's
really good. Okay, so let's get some interesting, fun news here that I think is interesting and fun.
Let's go.
Wink.
So one of the things I notice all the time these days, and especially when I was playing Yotei on stream, everyone in the chat was like, I can't wait to get the PC port of this, or when's the PC port? And in the case of Yotei, never now. They were making one, and now they're not. The plans were scrapped. And you're probably like, but why?
I thought you said fun news.
Wasn't Sony releasing stuff? Well, turns out GamesIndustry.biz and Newzoo have some analysis after Sony said it was scaling back its PC releases. According to Newzoo, SIE's strategy of releasing games first on PlayStation 5, followed by PC months later, has led to a lower audience on PC compared to games that released on multiple platforms simultaneously. Newzoo's data shows that PlayStation titles ported to PC after their console launch typically see PC accounts at around 13% of total players who play the game for the first 3 months across release. By comparison, when comparable AAA titles launch on everything, PC players account for 44% the same period. There is no difference, according to them, between first party and third party sales. And if you look at it across the board, it's just really low when they do this. The numbers they show are like, and keep in mind, these are the old ones when people were kind of like really hype on the idea of Sony finally making PC games. Horizon Zero Dawn was at 22% with 4 million players. God of War 2018 was at 14%. Marvel Spider-Man was at 14% as well. But again, those are older ones. More recent ports have seen much smaller ones. Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart was 8%. Horizon Forbidden West, 7%. God of War Ragnarok, 6%. Marvel Spider-Man 2, 5%. Ghost of Tsushima was the only one that stood out in that, and that was 11%. But across the board, the lesson is, if you're not releasing right away, you're literally just screwing any chance of anyone buying your game on PC.
Resident Evil Requiem announcing over 5 million copies sold within 5 days, with the PC version potentially accounting for over 2 million of those copies.
Yeah. Yeah. Turns out there's a huge PC market. Crazy.
It
Who would have thought?
out, if you have some strategy in your release structure, it does a lot better. But now stay with me here. If you keep doing the thing that doesn't work, it doesn't start working.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you.
Are we good? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So what we should do is blame that and say the whole system's flawed and just cancel it. Instead of coming up with a better strategy. What do you guys think? Good?
I like it. I like it. Let's do that.
Good. Let's do it.
It seems like you haven't thought this through.
You know, I feel like I don't really think we should and just go with it.
We should never think
Seems like you
through.
haven't considered all the variables.
Variables. I think that it's it's pretty.
Are you aware that Microsoft is our competition to you?
You know what?
That
you know
Microsoft?
You know what? Didn't think about it, and that's where we're going. That's our direction. Who's Microsoft? I have no idea.
We don't even know those guys.
I am the prize. That's right.
It is. Okay. It is weird that. I guess it's not weird. Going back to our business bro thing, dudes at the top see the numbers declining and they're like, scrap it. It's really it's as simple as that to them. But if they just thought for like a hot sec, like, wait a minute, if we just release on everything, surely we will, like, if it's a PlayStation exclusive, just put it out on a PC's not going to hurt, man. We'll make some bucks. Like, I don't know why they're against making
money. More importantly, they legitly think that there is not a sizable audience out there that wants to play it on PC more, and then that's worth it. Like, they're losing so many people because these games come out and nobody plays them, but media and social media gets saturated with everything. And then the people that would have bought it on PC, by the time it comes out on PC, they're off to the next thing. They don't want to play a game that was in the news like 6-12 months ago. Like, they're doing something else. So it's like, if it was available at the time, they would have picked up and played instantly, but you lost the sale. You didn't move the sale. You lost the sale by doing that. So, and it's like the fact they don't understand that is again, just goes back. They don't even understand the industry. Like, how can you not see that in front of you? Again, gamers aren't in it because they're not gamers. They don't see that perspective. They don't understand what's like. People don't want to buy the grapes that are already old. They'd rather have new grapes that are tasty and fresh. So it's continual failing for us, unfortunately.
As someone who used to spend a lot of time with people that had to have meetings with people from a very big company that I won't name on here, it really does feel like a lot of that job of being like the middleman is saying, how can we present the data in a way where they are going to trust us to do our job? And if the middleman isn't able to do that, can't like present the numbers in a way where they walk away being like, yes, I see. Go on then they really will just look at numbers. What's the big number? What's the small number? Get rid of the small number thing.
There's no context. They're completely
outside of it.
Numbers. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting to watch the three consoles, and we'll actually talk about them here in a sec. But like the three big consoles, Nintendo's like, Nintendo, only do Nintendo. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're not messing with anything else. We're just come to our Switch. Come to us. And Xbox is like, everything is Xbox. And then Sony's in the middle like, well, we would like to be an everything, but also please use our console, which is a crazy place for Sony to be because they're like, we're trying to have it both ways. Yeah. And it's tough because you literally can't do that. So
they're not only trying to have it both ways, but then they're making decisions like this recent one that shows they are not making good decisions. It's just like, how are you expecting to maneuver to victory when you are overtly and publicly shooting yourself in the foot? Like, if I was a Sony investor, I would be looking at this like, this is concerning.
Isn't that what they said that I think the lesson was learned by Square Enix, where they were like, we released the 2 Final Fantasy VII games after the fact, and they did not do as well as we wanted. So we're just going to release the next one at launch on PC, I believe is what they said. So like, screw it. It's coming out at launch. Everyone can play this thing, which is the smartest thing you could do.
So
like,
smart.
I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I guess probably it's one of those Sony helped pay for this game kind of situations. And it's like, we got to do what we got to do. Or, there's some games where it's only on Epic for a little bit. Like, well, why is that? Well, they paid for the game. Like, okay, got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, and I feel very bad for the Final Fantasy VII guys, because that's a situation where Final Fantasy VII Remake was a great game, but very limited due to its exclusivity. But the problem is the second game, which was also in the similar vein, you had to play the first game to really get the second game.
Yep.
So that means that your audience of potential buyers has shrunk significantly. Then you also made an exclusive. And now you have the third game coming out, and they're like, we'll put it on everything. Just please buy it. Please. like
exactly
at this point, you have to have had played the first game on an exclusive, then the second game on an exclusive. Now, this is your pool of potential buyers. And it's like, it's unfortunate, man. I feel for that company. Yeah. They're pouring everything they have into those games, and just the amount of people that played the second was not super impressive, and the amount of people that are going to play the third is going to be even less, most likely.
I still haven't played it.
You just have to be a fan.
Hopefully I'm wrong. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
I loved the first one, and I really wanted to play the second one, and I got spooked because everybody was like, there's so much in it. There's so much to do. And I was like, well, geez, I guess I won't start playing it unless I have a bunch of time on my hands.
I really liked it.
They're big.
The mini games can kiss my ass, but I love that game. The mini games, I was like, there's too many mini games.
I don't feel like anybody I know was saying it's a bad game or they didn't enjoy it. Just it was a lot. Mm-hmm. There was a lot to do. It was much more open than the first one, understandably.
I mean, it's the same trying to get anyone to play any series where it's like the third one's coming out, dude. It's such a good game, and they're like, I got to play 2 others. It's a tough sell no matter what. It always is. Yeah. Which honestly, going back to Pathologic with what you were saying, Dukes, earlier, the idea that they were like, well, we took the concept of the first game, and that's our second and third games, is actually kind of smart, and I love that for them. And so, pretty cool stuff.
It's stupid to be able to say this, but I love that when people show up in chat and are like, am I going to be confused coming in here? It's like, well, yeah, you'll be confused because the game is fucking bonkers, but like you could legitimately play this game as your first Pathologic game and it's fine. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of consoles, Project Helix is Microsoft's new console. At GDC, they were talking about a little bit, really trying to hype up the ray tracing and things. Apparently, dev kits are on the way in 2027. And like, if you're wondering what this thing is, great. So is everyone else. According to the talk, Helix will offer an order of magnitude increase beyond Series X and S, which, by the way, terrible console names, and they should actually name their next console something remotely good. But the rest of the stuff is like pretty corpo talk, where they're like, we're committed to keeping games from 4 generations of Xbox playable for years to come. Helix will offer developers a simpler and more unified path to reach more players. Like that kind of stuff. We're like, oh, okay, cool, man. What is it? And we don't know, because as far as anyone can tell, at the same time, they're making a Windows mode for your computer that's Xbox mode. So literally, you can just turn your computer on an Xbox.
Basically,
and a
just
lot of
Steam
people
mode.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, wait a minute, so is the next Xbox just going to be that Windows mode in a thing? Because that's what they're signaling, is they're going to make it a computer that is just an Xbox, but it's a computer. Very much like a Steam machine kind of vibe.
Pretty much exactly like a Steam machine. For a lot of us that used to homebrew Xboxes and PCs back in the day for media machines, like we're acutely aware with how you can just switch this stuff around. This is sounding more and more like a giant project that was headed for disaster. So they fired Phil, Sarah left, they brought in the meta AI person, and now she has to do what she can with it to try to make it profitable. They've already, I'm pretty sure, announced that they're not having any console exclusives on it. And that it essentially, like, everything that we're hearing from this is leading us to think it is just a computer with some fancy software. That's it.
Yep.
That's literally everything the project is, and that it's designed to be the Steam machine counterpoint if they can do that. So, but it's yeah. I like it. Somebody just said in chat there is no plan. It seems like the plan is they just want to like get as much hype behind it as possible to just make as big of an impact as they can with what very little they have. Yeah.
It's like even the like again, this is all rumor because no one really knows, but all the online analyst people are just like, I mean, looking at what they're trying to do, this thing's gonna be like $900 to $1,200, which is
with RAM prices.
You're buying a PC.
It has to be. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're saying the Steam machine is gonna be. They're around 1,000, and that price may even go up depending on how RAM and stuff does. Depending on if all the AI supercenters fail before or after that. But yeah, well, it's gonna be really interesting to see if Microsoft can even. It's not if they can pull this off, because I all think we already know the answer to that. It's how much are they going to? How much is this gonna work? How much is this not gonna work?
Yeah.
Like this is not a good direction right now, especially again after the leadership shakeup. Like that was a very big signal to the community with what happened with Phil and Sarah. So it's it's an interesting time for Microsoft gaming for sure.
Meanwhile, at Nintendo, in their little happy sunshine bubble, Nintendo's share price rose 15% in 2 days because of Pokopia.
Because of Pokopia,
That's right.
Of course.
This Pokemon spinoff that just kind of like came out of nowhere, where you just are using the awesome powers of a Ditto to build back a world. It is the #1 on Metacritic, the highest rated Pokemon game ever. It's selling so well that it has sold out at most places. They've run out of copies to the point where if you go to Amazon, people are jacking up the price on Amazon like it's RAM. It's crazy what is happening with this game.
Can't you download it digitally? So like, how are they scalping the physical? Is it collectors? Like that's wild, dude. It's
wild. Just the physical
Yeah,
copies. People are like, people
Wow.
want the physical copies, and there are none. It's the artificial scarcity of Nintendo. They do it all the time, and Nintendo. While Sony and Xbox are losing their minds trying to like figure out what to do, Nintendo was just like, we do only what we do. And if you like it, great. If not, screw you. And it's wild to me that works.
Yeah. And they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Working really well, apparently.
That's so crazy. But I mean, I guess that's why Nintendo's so litigious. Is in order to keep it that way, they come for you if you threaten them in any sort of way. If you're like, yes, we made this fun fan thing, and they're like, no, you didn't, delete. I'm like, oh. There was literally, this is absolutely real. There was a video Dodger and I made years ago for the Nintendo Wii U when it first came out. And it was an ad for the Wii U, a sponsored thing.
I don't remember this at all.
You drew a little me, Dodger.
While you said this is like, what?
Oh, because this was this is like over a decade ago. You drew a little me playing on a Wii U. Inside the Wii U, like we made this video together. We paid for licensing for music so we wouldn't get flagged. We did all this. It was an ad for Wii U. And then Q, 2018, 2019, Nintendo sent us a full-on cease and desist, take that video down. And we were like, why? Everyone in the office like, what do you mean? You paid for this.
Right.
And they were like, no, remove that. That's crazy. Nintendo crazy sometimes.
Okay, so real quick, Dodger, did we remember this happening?
No, I don't remember this at all.
You drew a little. It was literally a story about the very first time I got my Super Nintendo, and you drew in the Wii U because it had a drawing feature. You drew me with the Nintendo as I explained this. It was like every one of those like the YouTube videos where it's just some animator and they're like really quickly drawing a story they're telling. It's that, but it's Dodger drawing it, and I'm telling the story while using the Wii U's features.
It
was a great video, and they were like,
desist ever. I literally don't remember this.
I was going to say, Jesse, I think what happened is they DMCA'd her. and now she can't talk about it.
That makes sense. They removed it from your brain.
Yeah.
I bet, if there was one company that had those flasher things from MIB, it'd be Nintendo.
It would be Nintendo.
Yep. It'd be Nintendo.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is wild, though. So you don't remember the video or the cease and desist letter?
I don't remember any of this. I do. The craziest ad that we did with Maker that I do remember. I assume that one was with Maker.
It was with Maker. Yeah.
The craziest ad that I remember with Maker was a Butterfinger one where I was in a gigantic King Koopa suit and I had to be in makeup for like hours. And it was me and Octo went, "You're not you and you're hungry," and handed me a Butterfinger. And then I turned back into myself and we played video games. That was insane. That costume.
That sounds like a Maker ad. That sounds like a lot of thought went into it. A lot of real creativity. Sounds like the Maker guys got all together.
I can't believe I don't remember this ad that you and I did.
He's going to come on the next episode and be like, "So I definitely did that with someone else."
Oh no, it's 100% Dodger. No way. Okay. It is pure
wild.
Dodgery. Yeah.
And you can't
think about that all the time.
Because it got scrubbed.
Because it got removed. Yeah. We had to pull it off the internet. And I was like, but you paid for it. Like it literally says #ad in the thing. It's crazy. But Nintendo's like that. They'll like the amount of times I've seen people who have like my Nintendo archive where I store all these cool clips from Nintendo games. Nintendo's like, delete that. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't envy people who are like very solely Nintendo creators because every conversation I have with them, they're like, it's insane, dude.
Oh yeah, and so I've read some horror stories over the years of creators that stepped in the wrong line or did things by accident and they just get cut. Like they're just done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very it's
on the Nintendo blacklist.
It's really wild. The more we talk about it, like Nintendo is one of the most corporatized gaming companies. Like it's not even really comparable, but they're also known as one of the like bubbliest, family friendliest. Like they're like the best of both. Yeah, it's wild. It's really
like
wild.
Disney. Disney is also extremely aggressive with their IP, but because they are the Disney princess company, everybody's like, but it's Disney, the magic.
Yeah.
Very corporate. Yeah.
Speaking of financials and sales and all that stuff, Sega came out with their financials for this fiscal quarter, and they basically said something that I think is very interesting, but I'm really curious what your thoughts are, because I have like a theory. But they said in the last 18 months, all the critically acclaimed hits we've had didn't really translate into sales. Shinobi Art of Vengeance, 2 Point Museum, Metaphor, ReFantazio, Sonic Racing, Crossworlds, all of them, critics loved them, but not translating into improved sales in any sort of way. And I was curious what you thought about that, because I have a vibe.
Like why that's happening, or
Why do you think that's happening? That these games they have incredible incredible scores, but not a lot of sales.
The two big things I would go to is, well, how are people feeling about Sega these days in general, based on their previous history? And then the second thing is like a lot of, like at least a couple of those games you mentioned are relatively niche. Like they're not super well known, or they're for groups that are like niche. ReFantazio, Metaphor, like that's a big JRPG. That is not a mainstream game. It can be mainstream in some areas, but like you're not going to talk to the majority of gamers that know what that game is. But the ones that played it generally love it. And I feel like it's a lot of that kind of thing. It's not always, quality does not always translate to quantity. It could also have to do with their PR campaigns. It could have to do with their intercompany relationships and how they're doing that. If they decided to go with big publishing companies or not, like there could be all sorts of things going on that would make quality games not necessarily sell as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm wondering if when looking at the question, there's a conflation between this game has good ratings versus this game has a lot of players, because a game can be rated very well with a niche player base. But that doesn't necessarily mean a bunch of people played it. It means that the people who went, oh, finally a long JRPG, rated it really well because it was a really good version of what they were specifically looking for.
Yeah. My theory, I think, goes back to what Ko was saying earlier about Final Fantasy VII and the sequels and the shrinking audiences. I just want to point out one of Sega's big things, and this is also, I think, we'll see this is a problem with Ubisoft, because Ubisoft's also now, we're only focusing on our hits, right? And Sega said, we're only going to focus on our hits. And so the games they talked about were Shinobi, 2 Point, Metaphor, which is basically fantasy Persona, and then Sonic Cross Racing. And I personally believe that while these games are all fun games, everyone knows about these on a conceptual level. Either you like Sonic or you don't going in. Either you like Persona games and you know what Persona games are going in. You know what Shinobi is. You know what the 2 Point franchise is. You know, like, all these different things. So it isn't new. There's nothing new like, oh, I have to try that out. You already in your brain are like, oh, I know what that kind of thing is going to be. And so at that point, it's kind of like the three of us. If we do a stream or we're seen on a thing, people are either going to be like, oh, shit, that's Ko. That's amazing. Or be like, Ko again? Ugh. People have opinions for.
Absolutely.
They know what vibe to expect from us. Yeah. And so even if what we do, like these games, is amazing, doesn't matter. Opinions are already formed. And so you're not going to convince anyone you're amazing all of a sudden if they formed an opinion about you 12 years ago.
And going into that, how good the previous ones were, like a lot of times, sometimes the previous iteration will have like a really good version. And the next one that comes out could be good, but maybe not as good. So people are kind of like, oh, I'll wait to the next one or something like that. And then a lot of times these games, I mean, look at Horizon Forbidden West. A lot of times these games get completely overshadowed by other releases. So it's like your game could be great, your game could be awesome. But if a game came out before or slightly after it that's going to get a huge amount more PR, that's going to dramatically affect people getting yours, especially if the games coming out are similar to yours in any way. So all those factors could lead into these not doing as well as they want.
And especially if you have a track record. Like, I think one of the fascinating things about Metaphor is it is a fantastic game. And the Persona games in general are fantastic games. But no matter what, everyone knows the vibe of those games, and you either enjoy it or you don't. And that's like, you're not going to sell anyone new to a degree that you're going to see massive increases in sales, because everyone knows what to expect going in, what that game's going to be like, even if it's the fantasy version. Same thing with Sonic. Like, Sonic is Sonic, even if you're racing, you know, like, you're gonna, the 2 Point games feel like 2 Point games.
Sonic is a bit different because they keep trying to do different goofy shit with Sonic, and most of the time
to be Mario.
But it's still Sonic.
Yeah.
I know it's still Sonic, but I'm
Sonic.
saying the vibe of their games is always slightly different. And at this point, I think Sonic fans are like, I'm just going to assume this game is probably mid. I'm going to wait until you tell me it's great. You know?
Yeah.
That is a vibe. That is a reputation. Like, that is, you know, and especially, I'm sure if you're feeling that way, others are too.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Sonic, because, like, the amount of times I see people review Sonic games or talk about Sonic games and they give it really positive scores, it comes off as like, I don't want to lose my Sega contact, rather than I love this game. If you watch those videos, you're like, so you love it, but you didn't say anything good about it, like, which is a real weird kind of video vibe. But then there's Sonic people that love Sonic. They're like super into Sonic in the world, but then they'll be like, the games, I don't like this game. And you're absolutely right, Dukes.
I'm upset. I love Sonic. I've loved Sonic my whole life for the characters in the world, but like, Lord knows I've never really enjoyed a Sonic game, which feels fucked up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think it goes back to the idea of a lot of these companies, because, and this is across the board for all major companies investing in like a 500, 300 million, whatever $1 million game, they're always like, we need to get our money back if we're going to invest this much in this game. So let's stick with the things people know. But the things people know, they know them. So unless you're coming out swinging with an absolute banger, if it is mid in any sort of way, you're losing money no matter what, because people know your product. It's like saying, oh, we're going to make our next Assassin's Creed game. Opinions have been formed on Assassin's Creed and on your company. And it's going to be tough.
I feel like this is sort of the game version of when people talk about the internet writ large, when they're saying it's really difficult at this point to kind of get out of or have a reason to leave your bubble of content because there's so much of it that is catered to what you're looking for. And I feel like people were more willing to play games that were outside of their comfort zone when the pool of games to play was limited to what console you have and what was even out and available.
Yes.
And now, if I want to just play roguelites and Metroidvanias for the rest of my life, I can. There are so many of them that I will never play them all in my lifetime. And just more and more of them keep coming out, you know? So yeah, you really have to give people a reason to go outside of their comfort zone. And like, we had a whole huge conversation about that with Silksong. When Silksong came out, there was so much hype around that game and so much interest around it that a lot of people who do not like that genre of game played it. And some of them were like, wow, fuck this. But some of them were pleasantly surprised by like how much they enjoyed playing a very different kind of game than they usually do. But you have to give people a reason.
Dodger, I don't know that I've ever told you this, but that might have been the smartest thing you've ever said. I jokingly, but like, when I think about what you just said, you're absolutely correct in that every game franchise that I have come to love over the years is literally because I had no other choice. When I think about how much I love Dynasty Warriors, it's because when I bought my PlayStation 2 at midnight launch, there were 3 game options, and that was one of them. And I got it because it was the only one that didn't look like it was just a driving sim. And yeah. I fell in love. When I think about like PlayStation, the early days, I was like, what is this fighter game? Like, it's cheap. I guess I'll play it. And that was me playing my first Ace Combat game, which I love. Right? When I think about Super Nintendo and I think about all the games I played in Super Nintendo, I would not be an RPG fan if I didn't end up at a Blockbuster and be like, what the hell is this game? And try it out. And you're absolutely correct. It's because I was stuck. I had one console. Every generation until I started doing YouTube stuff, I only had the one console. That was it. I was not a multi-console guy. Couldn't afford it. And so I would be forced to play the games that were on that console. And it made me try new things. You've never been more right. And I'm going to give you credit for that. That was very impressive. I was like, damn, all right, smarty.
Thanks, buddy.
That's why a lot of us feel the way we do about MMOs over the years, is because, I mean, it was a massive event in the MMO community. And and when I say MMO community, I mean the people that played all the MMOs that came out. That was a community of people. So anytime like a new MMO would come out, Rift, Anarchy Online, Warhammer, Shadowbane, like these giant communities would go to it because it was literally the only next thing. Like there wasn't any other thing. So you just have this wash of thousands, tens of thousands of people over these new MMOs. And these days, I mean, you literally have a new free-to-play coming out every week. So it's like you don't get those giant amalgamations of people kind of experiencing their hobby together that used to be around, and that would kind of foster all these other excellent memories that come with all that stuff. So it's all related. But yeah, no, I Dodger had a fantastic point with that. That's
that was like
a good one,
guys. Thank you.
Should you do a podcast? I feel like you should. That was really good.
Guys, should I start a podcast?
And then of course, just some releases for next week. If you want to get absolutely old school retro shooter vibey with FMV cutscenes a la 1999, Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War comes out at the beginning next week.
Oh, then dude, I'm excited.
It looks fun. Yeah, I was looking at that like this looks so silly. Then the wacky Bonnie Bear saves Frog Time that has RPG elements and frogs and a ton of streamers as voice actors in it. Not Dodger or I, but that's fine. Whatever, it's like this. Whatever, it's fine. That comes out. Yeah, there's time. And then MLB The Show, if you're a big baseball lover, comes out as well. Death Stranding 2 comes out on PC, which I'll be honest, I haven't played Death Stranding 2 yet. I loved Death Stranding 1. I may play on PC. That may be a thing.
Myself. Yep.
Yeah.
I've only seen fan art of Death Stranding 2. I haven't seen any gameplay.
What?
I do not know what's going on with that game because I follow so many artists, and some of the artists that I follow got really into Death Stranding 2 and started drawing.
Bebe?
Just a bunch of babies, yeah.
Just a bunch of babies.
Just a bunch of rugged dudes hugging babies, yeah.
That sounds right. Then the big one I think next week is going to be Crimson Desert. I am so excited to play this game, mostly because every event I've been to where they've had that game playable has been the most fun I've had playing a game in a long time. The things you can do are ludicrous. When I say I swung off a tree on a cliff, flew across half a map, landed on a bunch of men in like sort of a shield formation, threw a grenade in the formation, jump flipped off, it exploded, made ice on my sword, and then swung my ice sword around where it left ice trails, and then dudes would run into the ice trails and die. I was like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. With that said, I've only ever played combat segments, so I have no idea what happens outside of combat segments. Like, I just don't know. And so I'm absolutely fascinated about what this game's going to be. It comes out, and I'm very excited to see if it lives up to the hype I've built internally for myself. I have no idea whether it's going to be good. We will find out. But the little bits I've played, I've been like, this is amazing. So we'll see. And then at the very end of the week is a game that I figured I would talk about literally just because it's an indie, but also mostly because it seems insane. And I can't tell if it's a Jesse game or a Dodger game. And my suggestion is to everyone watching right now, please go to Steam and just look this up and see if you can figure that out. It's a game called Rubato, Rubato. It is an experimental 2D physics take on a collectathon game. And I don't know what this is. It looks both cute and terrifying. It is so strange. Exactly. And I present that to you as the indie game this week of what are we doing?
That game looks insane. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll give it a shout. Shout out to devs for being super insane.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do appreciate that. I do.
That onion has nice legs.
Yeah.
That's a
very
tough
muscular
boy onion. Yeah, it seems I can't figure out if it's like it's gonna be a fun time but a little weird, or it's gonna be terrifying. Like, I just don't know. So but that's it. That's it for this week.
That car hit a cow. Anyway, he's on a jet ski now. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's okay. Thank you so much for coming on. We finally got you on the show.
Yeah, this is a huge amount of fun. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad. You're lovely as always. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you and what you're up to this week?
Sure. My name is CohhCarnage. I want to give I'm doing exactly like DF. I just went into DF outro mode. Thank you to my co-host this week, Jesse and Don. No, thank you guys so much for having me on. This is a huge amount of fun. My name is Co. Hi. You can find me pretty much every day at 8 a.m. over at CohhCarnage. I'm also working on a game called Emberville, which I'm extremely excited about. And we're going to be doing a lot of probably Slay the Spire 2, probably a little bit more Solasta. Going to be very much checking out Crimson Desert when it comes out, and probably more of that stupid cat game that I can't stop playing, Mewgenics. But yeah, thank you again so much to Dodger and Jesse. It's been a huge amount of fun. Thank you guys for watching, and
yeah, thanks, man.
We'll see you next time. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Go. Jesse, what about you? What have you got going on this week?
Yeah, more Resident Evil up on the YouTube channel. I'm streaming all the different things. Man, I wish I knew what I was going to stream next. One of these games on my desktop. But more importantly, for the 6 of you who care, because of this podcast, Octo and I have begun our 11-part series. We are backlogging it right now. We are 6 Fast and the Furious movies in of our Past and the Curious show. It's Octo has never seen Fast and the Furious, and we are watching it together. We have video watch-alongs. We have a podcast we're doing. And it's going to be just like I don't know, a couple of weeks here, we'll start releasing them. And it'll just be every week is a new one. I know it's gonna have no one's gonna watch it. I don't care. For the few of you who do, this is for you. This is a goof, and I've been enjoying it. Watching them back to back, I did not realize how much the story actually connects because they're years apart. So when I see them in the theater, I'm like, oh, okay. But when you watch them back to back, you're like, oh, Vin Diesel's doing a thing. It's great. The plots are terrible, but by God, I love it. I'm enjoying tremendously. So tune in. It'll be great.
Fantastic.
Also, Akko's obsessed with people's physical appearance. He can't get over the fact that all the actors get buffer and buffer and buffer as the time goes on.
Of course they do.
They just consistently get there. By the time we're where we're at, they're just like walking around like this. But in the first movie,
there's a point.
You know,
there's a point with those movies where you're like, oh no, Vin Diesel's neck is the same width as his head. What do we do?
I have a French bulldog like that.
How do we save him?
But also, they are invincible people. Vin Diesel body slams a man and he gets up. He's like, ow, why'd you do that? It's great. It's good stuff. Anyway, sorry, Dodger. What are you up to this week?
That's okay. So we're moving Pathologic 3 to a once a week thing, I think, because otherwise I'll stay in that hole forever. And I want to play more Slay the Spire 2 and maybe Esoteric Ebb and, you know, lots of fun stuff that's out or coming out. So I want to make space for those things. But yeah, if you enjoyed Geekenders and if you would like to watch any of the previous episodes, you can find them at youtube.com/JessieCox. We're also on all of the podcast apps and sites, so you can listen to us anywhere. Take care of yourselves. Have an amazing weekend and week. And we will be back next Friday. I believe Jessie will not be here. I think
I'll be here next Friday.
Next
Friday
Friday
after is PAX.
Friday
27th
after.
is PAX. Yeah.
Okay.
But don't worry.
So
Crendor's coming on, so that'll be fine.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a good episode. But next week will be normal, it sounds like.
Next week's normal.
Take care of yourselves, everybody. And bye-bye.
Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.